Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. In this video, we are looking at the NBA slate for Tuesday. I'm making this Monday night since we did not have any NBA games today. Making it right before the NCAA finale tips off a championship game. I want to settle in to watch that, but wanted to go ahead and make this video before the game starts. Let's go ahead and get into it. As always, if you enjoyed the videos, appreciate it if you hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't already. We have 12 games since we don't have any games today to talk about for Tuesday. Let's go ahead and get into it. If you wanted to join for baseball, that is coming up this week on Thursday. Looking forward to that. You can check out the website. Link is in the description. Still $50 off for the season pass. All the other socials are there. Prize Picks code. The Twitter handle to get updates, and I post a Prize Picks entry later in the day. But let's go ahead and get started with the point guard picks today. We have DeJounte Murray is unfortunately dealing with an illness. He tweeted out that he's lost like 7 or 8 pounds, so hopefully he is going to get better soon, and he can help the Spurs make their way into the play-in tournament. You have Trae Young at 10-8, coming off of a good game against the Brooklyn Nets. Ended up getting the win there. Young is 10-8. He's expensive. I like some other pay-ups on the slate, and we do have some other value at point guard. Going with the 9K options, nobody really sticks out here. I guess you could look to Devin Booker just with the upside that he gives you. We're probably not going to see Fox. Both him and Sabonis are questionable, but they haven't played in a couple of weeks. They are looking to get better draft position by having those guys sit out, and they are already out of the play-in tournament. They have no chance of making that. 8K range, we've seen Kevin Porter play really well. They've shut down a couple of their veterans. There is no Christian Wood, no Eric Gordon, and no Dennis Schroeder for the rest of the way. So that's paving big minutes for guys like Kevin Porter, Jalen Green, some of these other young players, and they have been making the most of it. So I definitely don't mind getting into Kevin Porter at his price tag. Chris Paul is at a decent price, 82. 7K range, they priced up LeVert a bit now. He's up to 7K. I think you can look to Maledon in a bounce-back spot. Struggled last game, only played 27 minutes. They actually won against Phoenix. Phoenix was resting all their guys, and besides Chris Paul and Bridges and Cam Johnson, and they ended up winning by 21. But Maledon didn't play much, didn't even play well, so that's surprising. They got the win. Even without Maledon playing well, it's because Pokusevski dropped a triple-double. 6K range. Yeah, Brandon Williams, maybe you can look to him. We know what happened the last time these two teams faced off. It was the best fantasy game of the season. We have Tyus Jones at 6K. I like him. Utah has not been the same team as of late. They continue to blow big leads. They're falling apart at the worst time. So it's not as bad of a matchup as you initially think. But the first guy you got to plug in here at point guard has to be Trae Jones from the Spurs. Without DeJounte Murray, he's taken over the point guard duties, playing 34, 35 minutes in the close games here. He gets you assists, gets you rebounds, scores the ball at a decent clip. He's a good shooter in general in terms of just he's only 7 threes, which is crazy. But he did make half his threes last game. But he's a good shooter in terms of 2-point percentage, hits his free throws, 3-point percentage. Got a lot of work to do in that department, but he should get better as he gets more playing time. Over at shooting guard, we have Kyrie at 10-6. He was a letdown last game. 47 points on just 47 fantasy points. Took 32 shots, only made 12 of them. Did hit half of his threes, but couldn't get anything done. That means he went 5 of 18 from 2-point range. Not going to get it done. I'm not going to pay that much for him, even though it's a good matchup against Houston. 9K range, we've seen Halliburton play really well last couple of games. 17 assists, no turnovers for him. Almost had a triple-double. Been playing really well. Not the easiest matchup against Philly. But we know the Pacers, they like to play at an up-tempo pace. 8K range, looking at Brandon Ingram at his price tag. Definitely something you can get to. Struggled really badly last game against the Clippers, but definitely can bounce back in a good matchup here. Going with some of these value options. First guy that you can look to in the 5K range is probably Will Barton. He's been starting to look like himself recently, more consistent. Minus that one game where he just dropped 19, 33, 32, 32, 41, 35. Been showing more consistency since at least over the last 5 or 6 games. We have other value that we can look to going further down here with Josh Christopher at 46 with them shutting down Gordon and Schroeder and Christian Wood. There's more minutes for Josh Christopher off the bench. He got up to 30 minutes, dropped 30 real life points. Does give you that big GPP ceiling. So I definitely think he looks like a good option if you wanted to play anybody from the Rockets. And then Wiggins at 5K also looks pretty good. And then if you wanted to do a pay up, it would be for one of the pay ups on the Rockets. It would be you could look at Jalen Green, but he's up to 74. Over at small forward, you have Giannis as your pay up against Chicago's. Great. I'm looking at Jokic today in the centers, but definitely you can make a case to get to Giannis if you wanted to. 8K range, I like Brandon Ingram more than Jimmy Butler, more than Zach LaVine. You could look to LaVine, but I'd rather go to 200 more for Ingram. Think he's going to bounce back. But I'm going to plug in Pokuševski coming off of a triple-double. Just a great matchup here against the Blazers. He almost had a triple-double last time these two teams played. He went into overtime. He played 41 minutes, but he's still going to play heavy minutes in regulation with them not having a lot of bodies, and they're limiting Robinson Earl to just 10 or 15 minutes off the bench. He'll only play like 11 minutes last game. So Pokuševski is going to be able to stuff the stat sheet once again today. Options for value-wise, you could maybe look to Jayshawn Tate. Markkanen had a good shooting game. Wiggins, a bit hit or miss from OKC, but at a good price tag at 5K. Josh Christopher, somebody you can look to. And then we might get some more value at the bottom here. I like Patrick Williams. Plug Patrick Williams in at power forward. He's comes off the bench, but I think it's a matter of time before he gets back into the starting lineup. I don't think there's any reason why they have to start both Caruso and DeSumo. I feel like DeSumo should be coming off the bench, and it'll start Patrick Williams, get some more defense. And they're not that DeSumo's a bad defender, but Williams has way more size. He can match up better in terms of the 4. Then the plugging in DeRozan at the 4. But Williams at this price tag, hitting value the last couple, really finding his rhythm, gets you rebounds, scores at a decent clip. Not going to take a ton of shots, but good defensive player. You can count on him to maybe get you a couple of defensive stats, and the matchup really solid in terms of just being able to get off some open threes against Milwaukee, a team that plays fast. Other plays at power forward are definitely Giannis as your pay up here. You can look to Siakam at 94. They're fighting for playoff seeding, so you're going to expect those guys to play heavy minutes. We have Sengun at 67, another great option. We will touch on him. And depending on the news we get out of Indiana, you could look to like Isaiah Jackson or Jalen Smith if there's no Batadze, whoever starts. At center, looking to get up to Jokic. He's been dropping 70 at a ridiculous clip. He hasn't even hit a 3 in a while, but doesn't even need to because he's still putting up 77, 75, 70, 73, 70. Looking to take that MVP award away from Embiid the way he's been playing. Should be matching up well against the Spurs front court. Pirtle is a decent defender, but Jokic has had no problem averaging 70 in 3 meetings, even hitting half of his threes. Pirtle is not going to get out to the three-point line to defend, so we could get a lot of open looks from Jokic from downtown. At the guard position, plugging in Tyus Jones at 6K. Without John Moran, still looking to get to at least 1 or 2 Grizzlies. Maybe Tyus Jones looks to be one of the best just based on his price tag. He's a guy that can shoot the ball well and can score if he wants to. Typically, he likes to just assist and rebound and get his 10 or 15 points. But last game he was aggressive and made half of his threes. Matchup against Utah is not as bad. It's not great that's going into Utah, but 6K for Tyus Jones with the assist upside that he gives you, the rebounds, and the minutes that he will play if this game does stay close. So definitely like Tyus Jones. The last guy is going to be Sengun. $6,700. They are looking to get these young guys more minutes as the season comes to an end. And Sengun got up to 33 minutes last game, dropped 14, 15, 4. It gives you assist upside, it gives you lots of rebounding upside, and will be aggressive offensively, does command a good amount of usage. So going up against Drummond, should be able to have success and fill up the stat sheet like he typically does. So that's about it for DraftKings for this first look. Let's talk about FanDuel. All right, over on FanDuel, same type of deal. I like some of the same players based on the price tags. A point guard, Trae Young, looks great at 10K. You can go down a little bit to Darius Garland or go down to Kyrie. He's a much better priced. I like Kevin Porter. Halliburton looks okay as well at 86. But KPJ looks good. Chris Paul at 8,000 into 7K range. Looking at Davion Mitchell. He struggled the last couple of games, but definitely can bounce back against the Pelicans. 6K range, you have Jalen Green and Maladon. Both look good. Even you can go to Tyus Jones. He looks worse than those guys just because Maladon's a lot cheaper than he is on DraftKings. Jalen Green's cheaper than he is on DraftKings, whereas Tyus Jones is more expensive. But you're probably going to want to start with Trey Jones on both sites. He is only 37 on FanDuel, way too cheap for a guy that's going to play 33 to 35 minutes. Over at shooting guard, you have good price tag on Garland. Maybe you can go to James Harden if you wanted to, but like some other pay-ups on the slate. Do have some good mid-range options here with Jimmy Butler at only 76 going up against Charlotte. A good matchup there. But I'm going Jalen Green. 67 is really cheap for how well he's been playing recently. It's a good matchup against Brooklyn. They just can't stop anybody defensively. And Jalen Green dropping another 30-plus point game. That's 4 straight 30-plus point games from Jalen Green. They're really shooting the ball well with a lot of confidence. So great to see him play well. Other options are Brooks, if he should be in, at 58. And maybe Will Barton at 56, like LeVert still at 54. He's saving $1,600 from his DraftKings salary. And, you have Gary Trent at 51, and then you have Josh Christopher Wiggins at 45. Over at small forward, pay up is Giannis. Looks appealing. I'm looking to get to Jokic, but you can get to both if you wanted to. You might want to go to Brandon Ingram at 86. Expensive, but he's still a good mid-range option. In terms of the value at the position, you can go to Karis LeVert at 54. I think he's too cheap. Mobley's already been ruled out, so should continue to play good minutes starting and gets a lot of usage. Power forward, pay up is Giannis once again, or KD. Nothing wrong with those guys. You have Davis, who's dealing with a foot injury again, so he's always banged up. But you might get Jared Allen if he's in. Then, that's just going to take away Moses Brown's minutes. But I'm going to go ahead and put in Sengun. It's only 58. That price tag is way too cheap on FanDuel. I still love him on DraftKings, but he's got to be one of the best plays on FanDuel at that price tag. And then the second guy is Pokuševski at 61. I also love to get to him. Wish he was also small forward eligible, but would definitely try to get him in at power forward. And then at center, I'm looking to pay out for Jokic here. Other options are Embiid and Cat, just because he's so cheap at 83. Maybe if Valanciunas is out, you can look to like Hernan Gomez, who would be a very, very nice option. And then you could probably pay out for Giannis instead. But we'll see what news we get. But right now, I love this 5. Jokic, Sengun, LeVert, Green, and Trey Jones to get you started on FanDuel. And that's about it for the video. So thanks for watching. Best of luck, and I will see you all next time.